Hello, everybody. So, I was recently on YouTube, watching shorts, and then I came across this video by Goji C.
The Terminator vs. the Mimic isn't close. Here's why. With Secret of the Mimic coming out rather recently and it being the newest FNAF game, let's talk about the titular character and put him up against another rogue AI creation. I've scaled the T-800 many times here on the channel, but roughly he would fall anywhere between wall and a small building level. Wall comes from the fact that he just busts through that stuff casually, and a small building comes from the fact that he can endure explosions to that magnitude. And as for his speed, I'm pretty sure he's a bullet timer. As for the Mimic, he's stronger than the Rockstar animatronics, which are stronger than the OGs, which have shells durable enough to endure 1.21 gigawatts, which is around building level. But the Mimic's best scaling comes from the fact that he can survive an attack from the Amalgamation, and he's even implied to be able to fight with it somewhat. With the Amalgamation being a character who can create tunnels to a city block level yield and cause earthquakes to a town level yield. So, even though he's not faster than T-800, he's just way stronger than him. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Mimic on this one. Don't forget to subscribe.
Okay. Now that you've seen the idiocy that I have just seen. By the way, this isn't a diss. This is because I personally disagree. Now, let's go through some of the comment section first. Okay. Now then, the comments do raise several good points, such as Roxy, the animatronic of which he showed the mimic fighting, was extremely damaged and blind during a fight, yet it still took the mimic a good while to defeat her. So that shouldn't exactly be a good scaling point. And then there's something for context. Bird Trap is not the mimics, meaning that the entire thing of the mimic fighting the blob thing with all of those tentacles is false. That wasn't the mimic. That would have been pretty much Burn Trap William Afton. And when it comes to strength, well, that stuff sometimes gets spotty. But this is a hypothetical. So, I plugged a few things into AI, not to gain a definitive answer, but instead to help with the power scaling. Okay? So, we're gonna start off with the Mimic. Origin. He was introduced in Tales from the Pizzaplex books and possibly linked to FNAF, Security Breach, and Ruin. Abilities. Advanced AI. Learns and mimics human behavior, even voices. Stealth and Deception. Specializes in stalking and luring. Ability is durability is he's able to survive abuse. Some depictions show it surviving crushing and extreme conditions. It does a lot of psychological warfare to confuse or terrify prey. And environment control. If in Pizzaplex-like area, can potentially manipulate lights, doors, and systems. Strength and speed ambiguously defined, but assumed to be fast and lethal in close quarters. Now then, let's see. Ambiguously. Allow us to quickly find what that means. Ambiguously has to be open to more than one interpretation. So, ambiguously defined and assumed to be fast and lethal in close quarter combat. T-800, origin, the Terminator franchise. Abilities, superhuman strength. He can rip through steel, toss humans around like ragdolls. Nigh indestructible endoskeleton. Withstands bullets, fires, impacts, explosions, and other Terminators, as well as great falls. Tactical mind. He was trained for infiltration and combat, made to be a war machine of sorts, tasked with killing all humans on Earth. Okay, and sent to go into the past to kill the people who would start the resistance. He's very persistent. He will not stop unless destroyed. He's an expert in firearms and other weapons. He can use wide range of weapons very efficiently, such as close quarters things such as poles, but as well as explosives, shotguns, and other guns of the sort. Processing power, capable of analyzing threats in real time and adapting strategically. Battle scenarios. So, they could be a different type of one depending on where it is. In a neutral area, open factory, open facility, a warehouse, even outside, T-800 would win. You see, now, out here, the Mimic wouldn't have advantage of a Pizzaplex-like environment and has fewer tricks. The Terminator's raw strength, armor, and ability to shrug off attacks would let him smash the Mimic in hand-to-hand combat. Even if the Mimic goes stealth, a thermal vision or patience would work against this Mimic. Number 2 is a Pizzaplex-like environment. Dark, maze, AI controlled, almost like a fortress. The Mimic would win, or drags it into a stalemate. With full control of its environment, it could isolate the T-800. I don't think that it would confuse a T-800. The T-800 is very robust, able to go through walls, and will probably scout out where it is. Now, it could even try psychological warfare, but that wouldn't work because the T-800 is a machine. Nothing more than that. No human emotions. It can be taught how to mimic those human emotions, however. Now, now the one thing here is the mimic isn't stronger than a T-800, so it would rely entirely on strategy and traps. Intelligence, while the mimic is more manipulative, the T-800 has been seen as efficient. The T-800 wouldn't be tricked, but the mimic could potentially exploit it to emotional weaknesses. If it's a version of a T-800 protecting someone, it wouldn't be emotional, it would be more of task, task, task confusion or confliction, because the mimic, if the T-800 was sent to protect someone, the mimic could in fact threaten who the T-800 would do. So, I conclude that in a straight fight, it's not even close. T-800 would win due to his build, his strength, and his combat programming and ability to learn and adapt on a split-second income, paired with his constant persistence. In a stealth type of scenario, with a controlled environment where the mimic would dominate, the mimic could win by outsmarting or trapping the T-800, but not by brute force, due to the mimic being, well, as we know it, he's not as strong. Now, you may be like, oh yeah, but the mimic was seen as causing earthquakes. So, what? Okay, these are video games. That means that the power scaling is going to be spotty. Same with all of the height stuff, okay? Like, if you look in the past, like in the books, a spring lock suit is usually always a death sentence, but there are a few books where William Afton has been spring locked multiple times with nothing more than a few scars. Okay? Now, while the mimic does have advanced AI and learns and mimics human behavior and even voices, I think that this would do very little to stop the T-800. It was built to survive abuse, but so was the T-800. The T-800 was also created to be able to tear down anything. Manipulation and confusion tactics from the mimic would not work against the T-800. The T-800 is, well, a robot. It doesn't go off of confusion or fear. It goes off of the cold, hard facts. And that is my breakdown of the video. Please tell me if you think I missed anything. Um, Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and if there are any other videos of what you want me to do with two combatants or anything of this type, please leave a comment on as to who you want to see in it. Until then, have a great day.